Right, moving on, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has lashed out at European leaders, saying that Russia would achieve its goals in Ukraine by diplomatic or military means and also seek to expand its security buffer zone there. Meanwhile, the leaders of 27 EU states will gather in Brussels on Thursday to discuss whether to use frozen Russian assets worth nearly $246 billion as a collateral to give a loan to Ukraine.
As the Russia-Ukraine conflict drags on with no sign of any peace deal, the United States is preparing a further round of sanctions on Russia's energy sector to increase the pressure on Moscow, should President Vladimir Putin reject a peace deal with Ukraine, according to a media report citing people familiar with the matter. The media report on Wednesday said that the US is considering options such as targeting vessels in Russia's so-called shadow fleet of tankers used to transport Moscow's oil and traders who facilitate the transactions. In Moscow, Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday said that the US is ready for peace talks on Ukraine and that he hoped the same would be true of Europe.
As before, we are ready to negotiate and resolve all the problems that have arisen in recent years peacefully. The US administration has demonstrated this willingness, and we are engaged in dialogue with them. I hope the same will happen with Europe. It's unlikely that this will be possible with the current political elites.
President Putin also warned that Moscow will seek to extend its gains in Ukraine if Kiev and its Western allies reject the Kremlin's demands in peace talks.
The goals of the special military operation will undoubtedly be achieved. We would prefer to do this and address the root causes of the conflict through diplomacy. If the opposing side and their foreign patrons refuse to engage in substantive discussion, Russia will achieve the liberation of its historical lands by military means.
Putin said that there were some calls in the West to prepare for a major war with Russia, and he described this as hysteria and a lie. The Kremlin said on Wednesday that Russia's position on the deployment of any European troops to Ukraine under a possible future US brokered peace deal was widely known, but that the subject could be discussed. Ahead of a summit of EU leaders, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said on Wednesday that Russia is making unreasonable demands in a US brokered push for peace with Ukraine. Meloni also told the Italian parliament that finding a legal way to use frozen Russian assets to help finance Ukraine remained far from easy.
This is demonstrated by the relentless bombardments of Ukrainian cities and infrastructure, as well as against the defenseless population, and confirmed by the unreasonable demands that Moscow is conveying to its interlocutors, the main one concerning the portion of Donbass not yet conquered by the Russians.
Meanwhile, European Union chief Ursula von der Leyen has voiced support for financing Ukraine, with leaders under pressure to agree on a plan to use frozen Russian assets.
And there is no more important act of European defence than supporting Ukraine's defence. The next days will be a crucial step for securing this. It is up to us to choose how we fund Ukraine's fight. We know the urgency, it is acute, we all feel it, we all see it, because just as peace negotiations are stepping up, so is intensifying the Russian barrage of attacks.
The United States has offered to provide NATO-style security guarantees for Kiev in talks on ending the war. But there has been no agreement on what Zelensky called the painful issue of territorial concessions. Bureau Report, DD India.